Hello everyone and welcome back to my official The GH24 News YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Nina Reeves will ambush Drew Quartermaine while Sonny Corinthos gets an adversary warning. Carly Spencer will also get rattled over some Jack Brennan and Jocelyn Jack's drama, so let's talk about what's in store. Trina Robinson will have a hunch that Jocelyn is hiding commodity. Jocelyn wouldn't do a veritably good job of covering up her anxiety after all the Cyrus Renault chaos, but she'll taradiddle and get Trina talking about Kai Taylor rather. Latterly, Kai and Trina will get swept up in a romantic moment together. Will Trina and Kai partake a kiss, or will GH keep erecting the expectation? Next, Ava Jerome will get a caller she was awaiting. Our prognostications allude it could be Christina Corinthos Davis since she'll principally try to make Ava's life a agony in the coming occurrences. After Dante Falconeri updates Alexis Davis on the rearmost Cyrus developments, she'll deliver a request to someone. Alexis may carry out a little disquisition of her own and try to find out if Jason Morgan made Cyrus evaporate ever. Anna Devane will also have some questions for Jason, who'll land at the center of the police disquisition next. That may be incompletely Brennan's fault if there's some planted substantiation that points toward Jason. Still, Brennan will be playing with fire since he could blow up his expiring relationship with Carly. As Jason gets trapped in a legal dilemma, Jocelyn will make a decision that's going to alter the course of her life. Will Jocelyn confess to the Bobbies? Or strike a deal to join the WSB if Brennan keeps Jason out of captivity? Either way, Carly's going to wind up rattled over some huge news in the coming occurrences. At some point, Carly will realize Jocelyn is tangled up in some trouble with Brennan, so she wouldn't like the exposures ahead. Meanwhile, Nina will ambush Drew at his new place, so that'll lead to a heated argument between them. Drew will push Nina to leave, but could she potentially bug his house while she's there? Anyhow, Nina wouldn't give up on driving a wedge between Drew and Willow Corinthos. As for Tracy Quartermaine, she's about to make an enterprising move against Drew and stir up more conflict. On another note, Molly Lansing Davis will entrust in Cody Bell, so they'll keep working toward a love. Isaiah Gannon and Jordan Ashford may remain on a romantic path as well, but he'll have moping enterprises about her dangerous Jen Sidwell plan. After Harrison Chase makes a suggestion, Brooke Lynn Quartermaine will be taken suddenly. This could involve a strategy to potentially track down Brooke Lynn's long-lost child, so Lois Cerullo is sure to freak since she knows it's Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Chase will also open up to Dante, so he may reveal that Brooke Lynn got pregnant as a teen and gave her baby up for relinquishment. Will that lead to any reservations for Dante about Brooke Lynn having his child and not telling him? Anyhow, Lulu Spencer will have some reservations of her own and may be the one to crack this case. We may see Lulu do some wiretapping as she starts following suggestions. Away, Sonny will be on the entering end of a warning. Will that be related to Sonny's health or maybe the Sidwell mayhem that's washing up? Sidwell is easily going after the mob master, so Sonny may be advised to the growing trouble and act consequently. During the week of March, Natalia Ramirez's secret may be revealed. Will Natalia admit to Sonny that Sidwell is her dangerous ex-husband? Sidwell also knows Sasha Gilmore Corbin is pregnant, so he could bring some pitfalls to her future child depending on what schemes he carries out. Eventually, Lois may find herself in fear mode if Brooke Lynn officially starts digging for details on her firstborn. We've got some appearances and goings news to pass on. Let's launch with some Taj Bello updates now that he's officially out contract, grounded on the show's ending credits. Bello lately participated a post on Instagram reflecting on his time playing TJ and left suckers suspicious about his departure from the show. Of course, TJ's lack of screen time also contributed to the exit buzz. It's possible Bello will make appearances in a recreating capacity, but we now have evidence that he's no longer on contract. That makes it feel like Bello was dropping valedictory hints since it's egregious GH doesn't have any big story plans for TJ presently. In other appearances and goings news, Jeff Kober is out as Cyrus Renault. Jocelyn Jacks helped give Cyrus a fatal exit when she took him down permanently at the cabin. Evan Hofer also popped up in a flashback sequence, which showed Cyrus removing Dex's medical ID cuff following his demise. As for Guy Wilson, he's wrapped his temporary run as Lucky Spencer recast now that Jonathan Jackson is back on screen. Still, that was Charlie Besso playing Tobias, if you missed the news about Aidan Weber-Swain eventually getting cast. Aidan and Tobias had a Valentine's Day grind date before Aidan wound up at the sanitarium for Lucky's rearmost extremity. We'll bring another appearance for Quinn Kai Taylor's chum and teammate. Quinn has been giving Trina Robinson a hard time, but Kai wouldn't stand for that. Once Quinn starts trashing Trina for tearing Kai's focus down from football, Kai will put him on full blast. Since Kai would be a mess without Trina's support, he'll drive Quinn to back off and see that she's the stylish thing that's happened to him recently. That's it for appearances and goings news, but we'll be sure to bring you further cast word and story prognostications as the action heats up. Harrison Chase and Dante Falconeri keep their bromance complete when the history comes crashing into the present. Chase just poured his heart out to Dante about the gut punch he and Brooke Lynn Quartermaine have been dealing with fertility issues that boil down to Chase being sterile. Dante stepped up as the probative confidant we all know he can be, but there's a storm brewing that neither of these guys see coming. Secrets, backstabbings, and a retired child. Admitting he's the reason he and Brooke Lynn can't have a baby hit him hard. The Joe has been scuffling with guilt, feeling like he has single-handedly let his woman down, and Dante was right there with a solid shoulder to lean on. Chase indeed thanked him, thankful for a friend who didn't judge or try to fix it with empty words. It's the kind of bond that's made these two a addict favorite brace on the PCPD force. But oh, how the tables are about to turn. Chase has no indication that Dante's got a shell in his closet that ties directly to Brooke Lynn, and it's not just a transitory fling. This is the kind of secret that could shatter everything Chase holds dear. Times back, Dante and Brooke Lynn hooked up, and neither of them ever breathed a word of it to Chase, or anyone differently. We're talking pre-Chase days, when Brooke Lynn was still figuring out her chaotic life, and Dante was, well, Dante, charming his way through summer camp. One night led to consequences, neither aphorism coming. Brooke Lynn got pregnant with Dante's baby. She hid the whole thing, gestation, birth, and relinquishment, because discovering the sap was an option back also. Dante is still in the dark about being a teenaged baby daddy, and Brooke Lynn has locked that chapter over tight. But blurting it out in an attempt to relieve Chase of the guilt of allowing, he burgled Brooke Lynn of the experience of carrying and bearing her own child. How will Chase feel when he learns his stylish cub slept with his woman? And that they had a baby together, an experience he'll no way be suitable to give her? Will a nosy Port Charles occupant, like private investigator Elaine Stevens, stumble across relinquishment records that tie Dante and Brooke Lynn together in a way no bone saw coming? Or might Brooke Lynn hire her to track down her child as Lois Cerullo bites her nails over the whole fire? Chase might forgive a once fling, he's a stage-up Joe, but chancing out Dante is the father of a sprat Brooke Lynn gave up, while he's grieving his own sterility? That's a gut punch he might not recover from. And what about Dante? Once he learns he's got a child out there, will he turn on Brooke Lynn for keeping it hush-hush, or will he try to regain his fellowship with Chase? After Anna Devane, Dante Falconeri and the forensics platoon went over the cabin aloud. To be Cyrus Den with a fine-tooth comb, they set up nothing. The lead came from Jordan Ashford's lines, where she set up Cyrus and the Gatlin family were connected. Also they did the same thing Jocelyn Jacks did, and looked through the late Austin Gatlin Holtz parcels. There's only one person Anna knows could clean up a crime scene and leave no trace, and it's not Cyrus and clearly not Jocelyn. Anna suspects in malignancy of her warnings, that Jason killed Cyrus and fated his body. It's a veritably close timeline to when Jocelyn would have been at the cabin, and Jason was with Drew, trying to make peace for Sam's memory's sake and that of their children. After his argument with Drew and failed armistice, he went to the main Quartermaine house, where he walked by on the tail end of another argument. Sasha Corbin was just leaving and Tracy Quartermaine talked, but no bone. But Drew saw him go talk to Drew except Drew himself, he left from the cemetery. Jack Brennan had done a veritably thorough job of covering up Jocelyn's crime scene. Although she acted in toned defense, it just couldn't be proven. There's a distinct possibility that Brennan intends to frame Jason, and Drew could indeed be in on it. Brennan could have moved Cyrus' body, and conceivably the wiped gun in a place that would make Jason look like the killer. Further than likely though, he'll just leave effects as they are, with both the body and the gun hidden in their final caching places, or conceivably destroy the gun. Brennan actually had wanted Jason to work for the WSB, but it would more than likely be as an homicide, which Jason wanted no part of, not trusting Brennan.